here's the idea. Angelica proves, which means you like make a logical argument about, well, if this is true, that's got to be true, then that's got to be true, and you show something has to be true. Her proof that two triangles have the same hypotenuse measure is this. We're given that AT and MH are perpendicular. That's what, see this little box here that's saying that AT and MH are perpendicular. That means these are right, that both of these are right angles. And T is the midpoint of MH. So that means that this and this, MT and TH are equal. If this is the midpoint, it's the middle, exact middle. So this and this are equal to each other like that. So she states this fact, and the reason is it's given, right? They just told it to us right here. They said, assume this is true. Then MTA is a right angle and HTA is a right angle. These two are right angles. And the reason is that it's the definition of perpendicular. They said these two were perpendicular. It means they make right angles. Therefore, these two angles are right angles. The next thing, they say that these two MTA and HTA are congruent to each other. They say it's the definition of the right angle because if it's a right angle or 90 degrees, they'd both be 90 degrees. They'd be equal to each other. Then TA and TA are congruent to each other, as in TA. Okay, here's where they're going with this. They're trying to prove that this triangle is congruent to this triangle. And once they've proven that this triangle and this triangle are congruent to each other, then it will mean that this side and this side will have to be congruent to each other because they're congruent triangles. You may remember this from long ago in a galaxy far, far away called Congruent Triangles from last semester. Okay, so TA is congruent to itself. So this is congruent to this side is congruent to itself. You'll see they're building here. They've got these two angles, these two sides congruent to each other. They've got these two angles congruent to each other, and these two sides, although it's actually the same side, congruent to each other. This missing part right here where they say we know these two angles are congruent to each other, the reason to give is one of these. Remember side, angle, 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 side, all that? The one that we'd be able to use here, because they've got a side and then an angle and a side, see it? Side, an angle, and a side, would be side, angle, side. Because that's the thing, that's the argument they were building here. They gave us that they have two sides, two sets of sides that are congruent to each other, and the angle in between them are congruent to each other. That's what side, angle, side means.